Hi there, guys. Today we continue the chat with Vitek Ladislav in his podcast called LinkedIn Smart. Please do go have a look, go search for it on all the different platforms. Today we discuss more about LinkedIn, what strategies there are, how to explain the process, how to turn connections into customers. Is posting a relevant thing? Who's your mentor? Who's guys to look out for? What are the people that you want to connect in? Things that we like, that we don't like about LinkedIn. Yeah, please have a look and remember to show Vitek some love on LinkedIn Smart. Subscribe to him. What an amazing guy and so much to learn. I really hope you enjoy this.
Um, talking about getting leads from LinkedIn. I know you've been on on LinkedIn for a long time, and as a LinkedIn trainer, obviously you're teaching people how to do that. And we covered pretty much everything from the strategy perspective. But do you have any specific example which you felt really proud of? Delivering some really good leads while teaching about LinkedIn to your clients?
Well, yeah, definitely. I think most of the teaching actually happens while a client is part of the agency, like part of the family. Most of the teaching, like, yes, even if it is in workshops and we do public speaking, that is a lot of value at once. But it's different when you build a relationship with someone over a certain period of time, like if it is months or if it's year. That's when the most teaching actually happens. So I had a client, they've actually been my client for over 10 years. But this specific clientele is in South Africa and they're in the real estate industry. But this client is extremely change averse. So anything that had to do with online was no, I'm scared, it's going to fail. I don't understand something that's just in the cloud. It doesn't exist. Or they once told me that, no, a website is just like a picture on the wall. What do you do with it? You just look at it. So that was kind of the mindset that I had. And what I had to do is literally start cultivating a relationship of trust, first of all. How do they trust me? Start showing a little bit of the value that it is. Eventually, the client agreed that I take over her LinkedIn profile. And the minute that happened, and I was able to connect with a specific clientele. I was able to communicate with her clientele at the value that we needed to, and actually apply the strategies and create human relationships. It added to the ecosystem of the marketing system. And over a 12-month period, the amount of potential income that came in was over 400%.
Mm.
So yeah, that is definitely an example, but it does take time. Sexiness does not happen overnight. If you go to the gym and you still have your cake and your things and you pick up weights 1 week, it's not going to do anything. So that is one thing that a lot of the guys that are watching this, and I love it if you are an agency, that you need to try and explain to your clientele, sexiness takes time, 3 to 6 months to actually see a difference. Yeah.
Okay. But the thing is, how do you talk to a client, and how you make sure that the client understands this? Because many times clients, they want results now. They want it quickly, right?
All right, so that is a very, very tricky part. How for clients to actually understand how the process works. So it is better if you can build some sort of trust and some sort of credibility on previous work that you have done. Showcase that. But again, I go back to human. If the person that you're speaking to doesn't actually like you or doesn't find that you're a credible character, yeah, it's over. You're not going to get there. It's like, don't even bother. So it is a difficult thing to try and explain to a client how this process works. It is tricky to find a client that is willing to trust you with this. However, if you are able to build the trust, and if you are able to find a common denominator in this, usually that is then a lifelong client. Even if you mess up a little bit, some along the line, you have built enough credibility for it to be overlooked. But that only comes again with time, and you have to create trust with your clientele.
And I think on that note, it's really important that the LinkedIn is there, because LinkedIn actually is allowing us. LinkedIn is a fantastic platform for building this exact relationship, right? Human to human. You can go to see the profile of your client, of your potential client. You know, interests are, you know, what he's, you know, what he was went through, what kind of job he went in, and all these kind of things. So you can build the relationship based on, and as you mentioned, you know, it's like a big networking event, right? Like I usually see LinkedIn as a big networking event when you go to and you start talking to clients, not about yourself and not about your sales pitch, but you start talking about them and being interested and listening to them rather than the opposite way around, right?
Yeah, definitely. To add to that, what you're saying there is, if you go on your profile right down to where the recommendations are, that's a key aspect, to read what other people have actually said there. Because one, you can click on that profile and actually see who the person is. If that person has been on there for a long time, if that person is credible, that's a way to see if it's just robots, if it's fake, if it's not. So another thing is, LinkedIn is usually about 70 to 80% true, factual. People is not like Facebook yet, that there's so many fake profiles and so many different things about give me my money and then you get a Russian bride or whatever the thing is. LinkedIn is not there. It is proven to be trustworthy. It is proven to be reliable. It's not just a fad that went away. So the recommendation part, I really value a lot. I always go down and read what people say, and I value it when one of my clients actually writes on my profile.
We've been covering a lot about what we like about LinkedIn, what you like about LinkedIn. Is there anything what you don't like about LinkedIn?
Not really. I do think it's a phenomenal platform. It's more to do with the people not understanding it and not seeing the value of it. That's the only criticism, but it's not the platform. It's not the learnings that they could happen. It is mostly the mentality and the mindset of the people that don't know, because usually it's they don't know what they don't know. So, and that's
right.
our job, like as in podcasts and as trainers and as agents and things like that, to try and educate people on the power of this so that they know what they don't
know. But still, I'm not gonna shy away from this question. Is there anything what you could improve, or would you like to be improved on LinkedIn? Let's put it that way.
Improve on LinkedIn. I think every platform has got little irritations. For example, if you are on LinkedIn and you type a message and you specifically on mobile, and you go out and you go to Facebook quickly and you come back, the message is gone. So little things like that. If you respond to something, lately I've been seeing little things that it doesn't post immediately. It says, sorry, try again in 10 minutes. But those are the only small things, and I believe every platform has got little gremlins that sometimes come in, but it's not major stuff, and it's usually not constant.
Okay. I was actually thinking that maybe you're a little bit irritated with like the direct messaging platform on LinkedIn, or even in Sales Navigator, which is kind of like a difficult to categorize, you know, put it in certain brackets and things like that. It's not really that easy to work with messaging, especially on the LinkedIn profile. Not much of the Sales Navigator, that's much better there. But the whole environment there, perhaps you know, that's at least from my opinion, it's a good area to be improved. You know, just put it in the different folders. You know, kind of like a categorized messages and things like that.
Yeah, but I think that's why you have Sales Nav. So the option is there. You just have to pay for it now.
Right. What would you say about the difference between a personal profile and a business page? Does it make sense? Would you recommend? Do you recommend it to your clients or not? What are your pros and cons?
Meaning to have a business profile or a business page. Well, yeah, business pages are good. It's when someone clicks on your, specifically if you want to be in the recruitment industry to see what companies you're working for, yes, have a company profile. It's also just another form of reliability and creating trust and credibility. If you say you're working for this company, have your profile, have a business page. It doesn't have to be massively active. Again, posting once a week, once, twice a week is, for me, in the strategies that we apply on a business page, is sufficient. Just needs to be a little bit active. And yes, biggest thing is just it creates more credibility and it creates more trust.
Mm-hmm. Do you see a lot of activities or a lot of engagement on the business pages compared to profiles?
No, not so much. Personal profiles, again, a lot more, but it leans back to, this is a human to human platform. It's not meant, it wasn't never intended to be a type of business, like spammy type thing, like where you speak more to pages, like Facebook, you speak more to pages and you speak more to those type of things than you speak to the actual person. LinkedIn was made to speak to the person, not necessarily to the page.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Is there any form of content which you see on the LinkedIn is getting more traction than the other, like videos, short form text, articles, photo content, polls?
Just the trend overall currently is still always video content, but specifically non-professional video content, meaning you sitting with your phone and say, hey guys, blah, 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 this is me. Those type of content is always a lot better than any form of professional content. Again, because you relate to the person, and it's relatability, it's credibility, it's building trust, it's real, it's human to human, that type of thing. And then quizzes I find these days are really starting to get up, especially journey type things where people discover more about themselves. What type of personality are you in this? What is the most common pitfalls that people make in that platform? Take the quiz and find out. Those type of things.
Okay. What do you think about the new features, especially in these terms, like LinkedIn stories, LinkedIn polls? I don't know if you actually have LinkedIn stories in Japan, because some parts of the world still they don't have it. But what do you think about these new features on the LinkedIn?
It's just another form. Me personally, I'm not too big a fan, or too big a, I don't know how to put it. Like, it's cool, it's great. It's just another feature on the platform. I don't think it's necessarily going to increase engagement. We already have that on Instagram. We have that on Facebook. We have that on Snapchat. It's like, cool. It's just, now we're just creating or building all the other platform features into LinkedIn as well. So yeah, I still feel it's human to human. And if that is your way to connect with other people, then great. But to me, that's a little bit of just a movie. You're just watching something now. It's not actually connecting. You're not speaking to someone.
Talking about connections, are there any specific, again, any strategies which you would teach to your clients about how to connect in a proper way on the LinkedIn?
I personally believe in, like, be direct, meaning this is a business platform. So you're connecting with people with a specific intention. I want to connect with you to chat about ABC. If you just connect with people randomly and you start sending them things about that you hope they'll be interested in, it's spam. So if you can get it straight from the get-go, hey, I'm looking for people that are experts in this field because I am looking for info about this, or I want to talk about this topic. Then it just sets the scene of why you're actually connecting.
Talking about LinkedIn and the whole environment, I wanted to ask you if there is any specific story which you have around LinkedIn, maybe something which really stands out over the years. You've been on the LinkedIn. Is there anything what stands out from, I don't know, maybe it was a fun experience or some very interesting experience on a LinkedIn?
No, it's just, you always get your trances that's always trying to hook up, or someone that's sending silly things. But that, I suppose that's on any platform, all these chances. But there's nothing really that I've been honestly found LinkedIn to be very useful, very powerful, and very reliable. So these are definitely in a lesser amount than I would say in Facebook or any other platform.
As a people, we always evolve, we move on, we try to educate ourselves in terms of our knowledge, our expertise. From that perspective, is there anybody on LinkedIn as a LinkedIn expert, LinkedIn sort of a guru for you, or somebody you follow, you would like to give a shout out to, you admire in that sense?
Honestly, I like to learn from everyone out there. I do find when I look at different people's profiles, like even yours, there's certain things that I really like that I'd like to try out and that I'd like to see. So no, there's not one specific person, but everyone that is on LinkedIn that is trying to make a difference and using the platform for the way that it should be, shout out to you, because you're actually using it for what it is created to be. And I truly, truly hope that you get the return on investment that you need in that to build the networks and to get the business that you want to convert it. And if that you need any help, just give a shout.
Before we wrap up, I would like to ask you: is there anything what you would like to, like, if you could send a message to the masses out there on the LinkedIn, what that message would be to those people out there?
Yeah, I guess just keep swimming, Just keep swimming. It doesn't matter what happens, you just keep going. Consistency always overrides any type of small, short effort. Just keep going. Something will happen. Something will come up. The right connection will be made. Because all you technically need is only one. You only need that one person that will be able to change your whole world around. So just keep going. Tweak it maybe. And yes, learn from others, but keep going.
Awesome. Daphne, it was an absolute pleasure to talk to you today. Before we wrap up today's episode, I would like to ask you, where can people go to, our listeners, and learn a little bit more about you? I presume it will be on LinkedIn first and foremost, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. Please do look at me as Daphne Thompson on LinkedIn, a digital strategist. So Daphne Thompson, digital strategist, that's my URL. And it's Thompson without the P. I'm P-less. So yeah, please do go have a look. Send me some messages, ask some questions, comment on the things. Yeah, just let's connect and start the conversations, the meaningful conversations that we want to have as business owners and as different entrepreneurs breaking into the market. This is the new normal, so let's make it happen.
Daphne, thank you very much for your time. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. And I reserve the right to call you again, and perhaps in the near future, just to have a discussion again about how the LinkedIn in Japan is evolving. Yeah?
Yes, please do so. I'd love to get back to you with some amazing results and case studies. That'll be amazing.
Thank you very much.
Maybe I would like to know, how did you get into creating the podcast on LinkedIn?
Oh, that's a good question. I just decided. I mean, I'm that kind of person. I just I just jump into the pool and then only then start kind of figuring out how to swim, learn how to swim, and this is usually my journey throughout my life. So the same way with the podcast. I was thinking about it for quite some time, but then when the COVID hit, I was like, okay, so there's a lot of time now on my and I can definitely do something like that. I myself personally, I'm a TV producer, so my profession. So I did these bits and pieces like with interviews and things like that. So I like it. And when I started here in Dubai 8 years ago, I had a show because I wanted to connect with the decision makers. So what I created a show which called Dubai Interviews, and it was a video show where I interviewed some CEOs, C-level managers, because basically I didn't have any connections here, right? So I had to connect with people. I didn't use LinkedIn that time, but I was using it for figuring out who is the right decision maker in a company, and then I called them up and connect with them and offer them this sort of a free interview on my show. And it was very well received. And I did about, I don't know, like 100 interviews within like 6 months, something like that, and connected with absolutely fantastic people. So when, circling back to these times, when the COVID hit and I was like, okay, I had this on back of my mind for a long time. I was thinking, okay, now is a good time probably to start doing this. And because I was heavily involved with LinkedIn these days or these times, was thinking, yeah, okay, let me just start talking and about LinkedIn, because I know that a lot of people need to hear this. What needs to happen? What are the best strategies, best tips, methods and things like that. So yeah, just started like that, overnight. Just switch on my Zoom and started recording. That was it.
That's awesome. Congratulations. This is really amazing. Congratulations. Another thing, what was one of your most favorite interviews that you've had on LinkedIn?
I can't really put my finger on one, because each and every person is different. And I, honestly speaking, really, I love to talk to people, and I love to sort of figure out what is their story. I love to listen. I really like this. So I can't put my finger on one. Every single story, every single person has a story. Every single person has something to say. And if you, as an interviewer, can actually, suck the story out of them, and put it out there, for the public, I think that's the biggest victory for you. So I really love when I hear that people are really enjoying the podcast, they're enjoying listening to the podcast. And actually quite few times I received a testimonial back from the guest speaker. And I just received a few of those when they told me that was the best podcast ever I've been on. And I've been on many podcasts. So this is really somehow like really that makes you feel, that's very satisfying, honestly. Yeah.
Well, congratulations. I think this is a brilliant step, and I think it's really awesome to create this platform. Well done.
Thank you very much.